Okay, the project I have now is a pancake style holster for a 4-inch end frame. I'm going to dig into my notebook of patterns to see what I got. If I have anything that I can use as a starting point. Let's see what we got. Glock 43, Remington R51, Smith & Wesson Shield, J-frame IWB, another one, Ruger LCR. Let's see, another J-frame, 5906, another Glock. Oh, 3-inch L-frame. At least it's an L-frame. Let's see, L-frame, 2.5. That's a possibility. K-frame smoothie. That was just a little bit lower. Stick with the L-frame. K-frame, J-frame. End frame, but wrong style holster. I don't think I have a pancake holster for an end frame. Yeah, 4-inch K-frame. Put it that way. 1911. I do have a lot of patterns in here, don't I? More J-frames. More J-frames. Another K. Another J-frame. 1911. 2.5 inch 686. That one's got a thumb break. That's a good pattern to keep around. Thing is, with a lot of these, all I gotta do is move a stitch line around, change the length of it. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. It's for a 2.5 inch Smith & Wesson L frame. All I gotta do is change the stitch line a little bit and lengthen it a bit. Lengthen the bottom of it that much, and I can use this as a starting point for my pattern. This back way. Alright, I'm going to pull out a sheet of paper and start scribbling on it, and when we come back we'll see what I ended up with. Okay, I got the camera at a bit of a different angle for this one because there's a few things I want to show you. Now, this is the pattern I started off with, and this is for a 2.5 inch L frame, but that was just a basic starting point. You can see that what I've come up with here is a bit different because, well, the end frame's a larger gun, and this is for a 2.5 inch L frame, and what I'm making is for a 4-inch end frame. So I changed that around a little bit just because of the size of the gun and how I want it to sit in the holster. Now, what I usually do is, especially on a holster for a gun this large, I like to make it so the belt rides over, or rather it rides so that the belt is centered over the cylinder. And I got a strap here. I'll just put that across there. So it'll be right about like that. And I'll move the camera a little. And you can see how basically that centers the cylinder on the belt. And in this case, it's going to be 1 3/4 inch belt. This is only 1.5 inches, but the belt that it's going to go is the belt that is designed for is 1 3/4. Another thing somebody asked me once is they want like measurements and the such, and I really don't have any. So I happen to have 2 J-frame dummy guns. So this is a J-frame holster, and even though this holster is for, well, pretty much a different gun, a gun that's a lot smaller and lighter, it's still going to be made out of the same kind of leather. So if I go ahead and I put the J-frame in there, and seat it all the way in. This is my holster actually. And then, let me do it this way. I'll set that there. And take my other J-frame and set it on top. Then I can see, looking in here and seeing how far back the gun sits, center that over about the same spot. I can see that from this part to this point is about a ½ an inch. And like I said, even though the gun's different, the leather's going to behave the same. Bring this back in. So that tells me that from this point to where the gun sits, that's going to be ½ an inch-ish. It'll be a little bit higher because this gun is thicker, and it kind of eyeball and compensate for that. I almost forgot this guy, this guy, but my wife remembered and she brought it for me. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome, honey.
I drink a lot of water. So anyway, what I'm getting at is I know now that that's going to be a little bit more than ½ an inch, and just from experience I can get the spacing in here. If I look how it is on the L-frame holster, I can measure across there to see where it is at the narrowest point. Let me see it like this. And what's that? About 2.5 ish. And I know that I'm going to need more than 2.5 inches across here because this is an end frame. Also, I want to have a nice wide area to put the pattern on because this one is going to get a what do you call it? Basket weave like on this one. And you know, I like to leave a little bit extra room down here just to have more of the pattern. This is going to be a stitch line. This is going to be a stitch line. And this is going to be the outside of the holster. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a mock-up of this. Basically, I'm going to cut this out, make another one just like this, and staple them together. And we'll come back and take a look at that. Okay, I got my mock-up all put together and stapled together here. I like to make a mock-up of the holster before I start cutting any leather. Then I could look at such things as, did I put sufficient, I'll get light over here. Did I put sufficient clearance here for the rear sight? Can I get a grip on the gun? That's an important consideration. And also, I like to have the muzzle recessed into the holster a little bit. That way, you know, if the holster bangs against something or, you know, or something, it doesn't hit the muzzle, but it hits the leather. Also, this looks like there's sufficient room for a molding to the shape of a person's body because people tend to curve. Haven't seen many square-sided people. Anyway, this is the mock-up of the holster. I hope this is coming out okay because I can't see diddly on the little viewfinder. Let me just hold it like this. For a 4-inch pancake style holster. And once the pattern gets approved, we'll get to cutting leather. Alright, we'll see you on the next video.